Hey guys, I'm Rob,
Hey, it's Brian. And with our
and with our part
powers
time,
combined, we
we
are
are the
the
nostalgic
Nostalgic
dad.
Dads podcast.
That was perfect.
That was great. That was great. How about we let everyone know what we're talking about today?
Okay, so we got you. I think you picked this one,
Yeah, I did this one.
but ultimately a great choice. We are going over season one of Street Sharks.
Yeah, from 1994, I believe.
I was looking. I think this show. I didn't see how many seasons, but I think it said it has 40 episodes in total.
Yeah, I think it went 94 to 96. But kind of funny enough, with our format, we doing the first episode, the middle episode, and the last episode. Season one is only 3 episodes.
Yep. So they
So
totally did us a favor there.
yeah, which is weird because I don't recall any cartoons only having 3 episodes for their first season.
No, me neither. So I don't know what happened there or how that was decided, but they they kept it short, and I guess it worked for them, and they kept going.
Yeah, because like this one, like I was telling you, this season, each episode plays into each other, so you can pretty much just binge it all together like watching a movie.
Yeah, you could, if you wanted to, you could edit it all together, and it would be this like hour and a half special.
Yeah, which actually I think really helps for it. So I don't know if they keep it up for the other seasons or not, but it's made it really easy watch.
Yeah, I would hope they kept it going that way. I remember watching this when I was younger, but I more remember the toys than the actual show.
Yeah, I remember the toys too.
Yeah.
Had a lot of those. Those were awesome toys.
Yeah, and they're like big and bulky toys.
Yeah. So, of course, this cartoon's definitely trying to cash in on the hype of the Ninja Turtles, as were a bunch of other cartoons of the time period.
Yeah, take just the idea of mutation, make this super team, and also the same number of team members, team of four.
Yeah,
I
all
mean,
they're
it.
missing is their wife's little rat.
Yeah, exactly. It was a working combination, and there are a lot of parallels that I was seeing, and they just like let's change stuff around. Make sure you use as much lingo that implies them being a shark as possible.
Yeah. There's also an insult towards the Ninja Turtles at one point. I'm not sure if it was in the first episode or not.
Um, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let me see if it. Oh no, that was the second episode.
Second episode where,
Pizza.
yeah, it's,
Yeah,
is it Riggs or Ben? No, it's Ben's. Ben's is the psychic's name, right?
yeah,
Yeah, he's like, I think it's him. He said, "Hey, you want to go get some pizza?" And they're like, "Yeah,
yeah,
pizza."
yeah.
So, but let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Let's get into the first episode, which is called Sharkbait. Pretty much pretty simple, straightforward. Dr. Paradigm works with the Street Shark's father. They're all brothers, so it makes it a little bit easier. And they're working with, was it genomes mutations or G strands? I think it's G strands mutations.
I think so.
And their father walks in on Dr. Paradigm, who's doing a test without him, and fight breaks loose. The father gets a needle in the neck, I believe, and then the Street Sharks get, you know, created later on because the boys get captured as a ploy to try and make the father show up at a nuclear waste plant.
Yes, there are a lot of needles flying around in this show, and people getting injected constantly.
Yeah, it's also really weird that they get the phone call, "Hey, your dad wants to meet at the nuclear plant. Just go there and show up." It's not
and
the most common spot to meet up with your father, I don't think, but it is what it is.
and I love how they're also willing.
Yeah, they don't see anything wrong with it whatsoever.
Nope, they're like, all right, be right there.
So, did you want to start with any of your pointers for this episode?
Sure. So, Dr. Paradigm, the villain. First of all, right off the bat, you like he doesn't even have to say anything. If you put him in a crowd of people, you could point him out and be like, "Yes, that is the villain."
Hmm.
Um, he's bald. He looks like a Bond villain to me. He's bald. He has an accent, and he has an eye patch.
A metal eye patch,
A
which I have
metal.
in my notes. Everything. Why is it an eye patch that looks like it's bolted right to his head? Because it's got three
Yeah,
bolts.
it does, and then therefore you wouldn't need the band.
Yeah. Makes you wonder what happened to him.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, why are we living in an era where we just bolt some metal to our face when we have an injury?
Right? He must have thought it would look cool.
Yeah, probably. It's that 90s era badass.
Also, this man is capable of crazy science and technology. He can't make a new eye for himself.
Yeah, it's not a priority, I guess.
Apparently not. So his henchmen are the swordfish, the mutated swordfish, and the lobster. I thought it was weird that the original form of the lobster was like super green, and I
Yeah,
don't think I've
I,
seen that.
I jotted that down too, and it's also super big already in the test tube.
Yes, that I thought was really weird. Also, they're starting out. I was like, is that thing mutated already, and you're gonna mutate it again?
Yeah, because you see the sharks swimming around in one of the bigger tanks, and they're all normal size, and you see this lobster, and it's giant and green, taking up a tank on its own.
Yeah, it's very weird. Um, I also had so the city's called Fission City, um, and then like right off the bat, they got the eye in the sky guy flying around and recording, and you can see the city is like disgusting. Like the air is hazy, um, big time eco message, kind of using some ideas from Captain Planet.
Yeah, they would go well together.
Yeah, I could just see him flying in, or if they had like a crossover, I could totally see that. The four sons, um, I was trying to like get down their personality traits just based off of like how they looked before they changed.
Yeah.
And obviously, so one's a nerd. He's like very smart. He's got a pet rat that can make him breakfast.
Yeah.
You got the other dude who is kind of a skater bro.
Yeah, he's like a rollerblader. He's the equivalent to Mikey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? That's another thing to note. Obviously, the parallels, like we were saying with Ninja Turtles. So we got the one brother who's nerdy. That's Donatello. We got the skater, the roller skater who's like Mikey. There's the other dude who's I couldn't. His character trait seemed to be that he's like a bum or he's lazy because when they called him, he's just like sitting on the couch like what?
Yeah, he's the hammerhead. I forget his name.
Well, okay, so okay, the fourth brother is the jock because
Yep.
he's like this. Well, they're all really in shape already, which I thought was interesting. Um, but their names are, and I don't know which one is which. Ripster, Jab, Streaks, which is like street but spelled with an X, and then Big Slamu, which is the best name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, so Slamu is the jock. He's the big whale shark, maybe.
Okay.
Ripster is the leader. Streets is the rollerblader, and then you said Jabs.
Jab.
Yeah, he would be the hammerhead.
Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, we were talking about they get that call. They gotta go meet their dad at the was it power plant or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nuclear power plant, I believe.
Yeah, and I love that the guy who's rollerblading apparently knows he's gonna get into some crazy situations rollerblading, so he came prepared with a parachute. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
you gotta just be prepared for anything in this world.
There's like jumping around and skating through, and they're all racing each other to get to the power plant. And then he's like, I think he skates off a building or something high, and then he already had a parachute ready.
And then
Um,
there's Ripster's bike who can apparently jump over barriers on the off ramps on the freeway.
yes, I'm looking at my notes, and I'm like, I've spelled Dr. Paradigm 3 different ways, one with
Uh,
an
yeah,
I
me
or a
too.
Y. One kind of brutal thing was so they all get injected with, like we said, crazy needles flying around. Um, and then the doctor thinks they're dead, so he literally just ditches their body in a ditch.
Yeah, that's something I had wrote down too. Because when he's changing the lobster and the swordfish over, it's like almost instant.
Yeah,
And I would also point out with the personality traits, one's supposed to be Blackbeard and one's supposed to be Genghis Khan.
really for the henchman.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
yeah, they
get
make
that.
references, and he actually, because when he's doing the needles, he's taking personality traits from famous historians, and he picks Genghis Khan, and then the other one says Captain Blackbeard. So, of
Oh,
course.
Why why those personality traits? I don't
I
know.
have no idea, but I was okay with it. It's definitely different. But yeah, that was something I didn't know why does it take so long for the boys to change over, but the henchmen were instantly. Is it because they're animal form first and not human form?
I think so. I think that was the difference. He started experimenting on animals and then moved up to humans, and then it was like a very delayed response.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, they dumped them in a ditch. Some lady actually sees them and then like calls the cops, but then their bodies are washed out um, before the cops see them, and then um, they're actually alive because then we wouldn't have the rest of the show if they were actually dead. And I remember they're eating. They go to a hot dog stand and they're eating hot dogs, and then as they're eating hot dogs, then they mutate into the sharks.
Yeah, and then it's a Al's hot dog stand, and then they eat the whole entire stand.
Yes, they start munching on it like it's nothing. I actually like the scene when they're mutating. They did. It wasn't just like this cheap, quick, like, oh, next frame they're sharks. They showed
Yeah,
them like transforming.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of American Werewolf in London. Not as detailed, of
Yes,
course, but you
of
can
course.
definitely see the changing of the hands, the face, and all that kind of stuff. So that was a really nice touch.
Yep, and good for them. They kept their 8 packs. So congrats.
Yeah, they're still in shape. They're not fat mutated sharks, but
I
whatever
don't
works
remember.
for them.
I didn't know sharks could be super ripped, but that's cool.
I would have no idea either.
Uh, I have noted on here it's like weird physics of the sharks when they're moving through the street, as in like I don't know how it would actually work or how they propel themselves, but they're able to just like go through concrete like it's
Yeah, the
nothing.
shark dive.
Yeah,
Also, with them being sharks, they never have to breathe underwater. They can just walk on land. I guess they just keep their human traits, even though they have the shark gills.
they're like whatever's the convenient stuff, I guess. Is
Yeah,
oh yeah, because they do have the still gills, right? You can see them.
yeah.
Hmm.
Whatever
Oh well.
works. It's not that Earthworm Jim physics where there's a fishbowl and a
Oh,
fishbowl underwater. So
underwater. Yeah, exactly. The one thing I wanted to say is, so I was still disappointed. I thought I remember that their catchphrase was, Jawsome, because I mean they say it in the intro,
mm.
um, but really you could turn it into a drinking game. Every time they say shark attack, and you might be in trouble.
Or just any fish line in general, and you'd be dead by the end of the episode,
That would be a good game, but that would be yeah, that'd
or
be too much.
or even by the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they they really ham it up with those catchphrases, and it's great.
Well, it's just like when Benz meets them for the first time as sharks. He calls them a bad B movie.
Oh yeah, he does. He's actually pretty calm about it to be surrounded by like 4 mutant sharks.
Yeah, and he automatically knows somehow that's them.
Yeah, that's them. He's like, you know what? I could sense it. I kind of made another connection to Ninja Turtles that I felt like Ben's is kind of like Casey Jones. And then I really don't remember the female scientist is
Yeah,
like April.
yeah,
They're
definitely
helping them
for sure.
out, and they're like the human sidekicks.
Um, do you remember the where they're trying to get away from the police and they all fit in Ben's? Was it a
His weird hybrid
car
van
truck
truck.
thing?
Yeah, exactly.
One, I don't know how they all fit in it, and two, to escape, they're driving down the freeway there, and they jump out. They don't show you jumping out, but they use their fang or their teeth to cut the car shape out of a billboard, and then they put the car inside the billboard.
Yes, that was hilarious. I was when it happened so fast, and I'm like, you guys are being chased by cops, I believe, or
Yeah,
something. No one saw that at all. That you guys were like perfectly munching through a billboard, and you fit the car in perfectly.
yeah, because how they must have be really fast to be able to cut the exact shape of that car. Then I know they're super strong, so picking up the car would be no problem. But
Yeah,
it was a funny moment. I liked it.
yeah. You just had to be like, you know what, just go with it. Oh, so there's a line in there. Obviously, they're like we were saying, they say a lot of stuff relating to sharks, and there's a part I think it's someone, or I think maybe Ben saying it. He's like, "Can you stop moving?" And then they're like, "We can't. We're part shark," which is something I remember from as a kid. I don't know if it was for all sharks, but I heard like sharks, if they stop moving, they'll die or something.
Yeah, I think I remember something like that. Their tails are always moving.
Yeah. So I was like, that's kind of cool to throw in there. All those kids who were reading zoo books back in the 90s are like, I know that.
And then near the end of the episode, we find they get to run into the henchmen. I wish I knew their names. I forget their names.
Uh, I I don't remember their names either. They didn't seem like they really said them. They just like showed up and then
Yeah, there's no real introduction to them, even though they are at the beginning. And then they have a battle at a fair, a random fair. I don't know how they really got there. I know they're just still running from the police, and then they all were there at the same point.
yes, and that's when they got their name because Ben's is like, or some kid sees them and he's like, whoa, and Ben's is like, oh yeah, they're the street sharks.
Yeah, it's a new fair attraction or whatever.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, I don't think you need to do that, but whatever.
I like how they use a Ferris wheel as a weapon, though, because
Yeah,
they literally bite the bars off and throw it at the henchmen.
was it Ferris wheel or a roller coaster?
I think there's both. There's a Ferris wheel, and then later on it's the roller coaster. Because one of the lines I wrote down, I think it was Ripster maybe that said it. The exact line is, "That's how the coaster crumbles."
Oh my God, they, I guess they're wrecking that place.
Yeah, it's pretty much destroyed because at one point I think they throw. Maybe it's even the henchman that throws the Ferris wheel at them. Then they break out of that, and then they eat the supports of the roller coaster. And I think that collapses then on the henchman.
And then I remember just when it seems like they got the upper hand, the military comes with their tanks and everything, and they're essentially outnumbered, and yeah,
Yeah, they're swarmed.
they get captured, and that's the end of episode 1, I believe.
Yep, that's the end of the first episode.
Did you have anything else to note about that first episode?
No, I think we pretty much hit all the points. One thing
Yeah,
I will ask, who's your favorite shark?
I'm not sure because I don't know. A lot was going on, and all 3 episodes moved at like a really fast pace,
Yeah,
and so I would have to watch more. I didn't get enough of their personalities, or like it wasn't enough for me to distinguish between them as there are sharks. Because
yeah,
before when they're human, obviously here's their personality traits. These are different, and then when they turn into sharks, they kind of got lost on me.
yeah. Because Ripster doesn't seem like the science type at all once he becomes a shark.
No, he's violent.
He's just a badass leader who's in jeans and cowboy boots, which is a weird combination for a
uh,
shark.
so cool.
Yeah,
You know what? If I had to vote, I'll give it up to Ripster because he's giving off the Leonardo vibes.
yeah. I know as a kid I like Ripster the most, but I think upon watching this again, I think I'd go for Streets.
Oh yeah,
Just that goofy kind of
is he
crazy
the
character.
orange one?
No, he's
It's the
the
hammerhead.
blue. No, he's the blue one with the rollerblades.
Oh, okay, so that leads right into story wise right into episode 2, Sharkbite. So they're captured and they are taken by the military. The military is working with Dr. Paradigm because obviously the military doesn't actually know what that they're working with this evil scientist guy, and they're like drugged or whatever. They're incapacitated,
Yeah,
and he's actually about to do like a vivisection or surgery or whatever you want to call it on was it Ripster, the leader, or
no, it's Slamu.
Slamu? Okay, yeah, he's literally about to cut him open. But the April O'Neil type character, the female scientist, I still don't remember her name. This was like her biggest contribution, I think, to to this whole season. She's able to sneak in because I guess she was supposed to help the doctor with the surgery, and she distracts the guards who are guarding the rest of the sharks by hitting an alarm, and they go run off, and she frees them, and then they free their brother, Um, and I know they escape and they meet up with Benz, who takes them to their new underground base. I just like Ninja Turtles have a sewer base.
I think this
Uh,
base is better though.
yeah, this base is better because it's not really like like a sewer. It looks like someone built a really nice like hidden base underground, and it's underneath the hockey rink. And then that's where, like we said, the joke. They get to the base and they're like, "You guys want me to go order some food or get some pizza?" And they're like, "Pizza." Ugh. At the same time, like, who says pizza is gross? Come on, I know you're making fun of Ninja Turtles, but still,
Yeah, they just want to set themselves apart.
yeah. And so uh, things are good, they're safe, but Dr. Paradigm decides the best way to get them is to capture Benz, and and then it's up to them to save Benz, and um,
Who gets captured twice in this one episode?
because he's that type of character,
Yeah, he definitely is.
and yeah, I mean that's the gist of the plot. I know it ends with them getting like the Dr. Paradigm, or who they call Dr.
Paranoid.
Paranoid. Um, he's able to capture them, and they're locked in some kind of genetics chamber. So
Yeah,
what do you got for this?
um, so I got a couple cool points. They definitely start using their catchphrase in this one, the shark attack, which I also thought was jawsome.
Yeah.
But apparently their number one thing is shark attack. Something that intrigued me with the guards is I don't know the time period that this is supposed to be set in, because the guards have laser guns.
Yes. I was also getting the thought that like this must be in the future,
Yeah,
or their idea of whatever 2020 is.
yeah, I'm not really sure. And when we first get to no, actually, the van has the jet power to escape. That's probably what you were thinking about, the jetpack.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because also, what world are we living in where a van has jet power and it can just like fly off?
It's got jet power and it can fit giant mutated sharks. So
Yeah, because the van takes the jet power and they go up to the top of a building, and then Benz jumps off the top of the building, jumps into a dumpster, which is actually a hidden entrance for the underground base.
right, yes.
Because the dumpster somehow connects to the steam tunnels that run underneath the university, as well as the comic book shop.
Oh yeah, Benz was talking about the comic book shop.
Something I did think would be cool. Do you know who makes this cartoon? Like what company it was?
I'm not totally sure. I remember one of the end credits. One of the I don't know if it was one of the actual the animating company or the ones that like distribute it, but it was like DIC. I remember that was one thing from my
Oh yeah,
childhood
Dick.
that some show. It was like
Yeah,
it was like a kid's voice, Dick.
yeah. Because I think with the seeing that the bases are underneath the hockey rink, I kind of at one point wish this was by Walt Disney, because then when you go to the hockey rink, you can see the Mighty Ducks playing. Would have been the perfect crossover.
Like the from the movie or the cartoon.
The cartoon.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or even if you do like a parody of the movie and just color the jerseys the same way and whatnot.
Yeah, you totally
So,
could have.
um, an interesting thing though that I caught was Dr. Paradigm. Is he like the very first Sheldon Cooper? Because apparently he graduated college when he was 9 years old.
I remember hearing that note. I didn't think about Sheldon, but yeah, that totally makes sense. And Sheldon could have totally been or grown up to be a supervillain.
Yeah, just have to pack on a little bit of muscle, but you know.
Yeah. Or get that power suit that the doctor was wearing.
Which is it's different because the Doctor has two hands, right?
Yes.
Why in the power suit does he have a hand and a claw?
Yeah, I thought that was weird, and also double weird when I saw him typing on the computer with that hook claw
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's different. Something that I also found funny, Ben's with his secret lair. He's already got vehicles already made up for them.
Yeah, like did you kind of foresee this, or what's going on there?
Yeah, because he's got Ripster's motorcycle, and then he's got this giant doom buggy thing already
Yeah.
set that's to size for the sharks.
Yeah, they're like perfect size for them.
And then at some point during the episode, the sharks are all being chased down, and I think they're trying to escape security or the police again, and there's bounty hunters out after them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they go for an alleyway, and then the bounty hunters set out a tripwire.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I don't know if the bounty hunters are supposed to be like a parody of someone, because one's really big and one's really skinny. So all I could think of was Bulk and Skull.
Yeah, I can see that. Has there ever been a Power Rangers cartoon? Side note.
No, but there has been comic books.
Yeah, I know the comic books. Kind of surprised, no cartoon. Oh well.
No cartoon parody that I know of, at least.
Yeah.
Um, Something else that happens. I think this is one of the first times that they go underground. Maybe
Yeah,
around that
yeah.
same time.
I think so.
Do you hear the rip-off Jaws music playing?
No.
Yeah, the whole time they're underground, it's like a cheap secondary Jaws soundtrack playing.
Oh, it's probably like one note off or something. Instead of dun it, it's dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun.
Then at one point, Benz gets caught again, and Dr. Piranide wants to inject him with piranha DNA to make him his newest henchman.
Yes, right.
But as we know, that fails miserably, and Dr. Piranide gets stabbed in the back of the neck with it.
Yeah, because it was like it was a needle on the end of this robotic arm that ends up going like getting knocked. It's whipped all over the place.
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And then conveniently stabs him right in the neck.
Yeah, and then the sharks get stuck in a giant chamber that apparently destroys DNA when it turns on.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just kind of like, okay, I wasn't 100% sure what his main idea is, like what his overall plan is. What does he want to make?
I think he just wants to turn everyone into mutated animal half-breeds.
Yeah. Oh, one thing we didn't mention for the first episode is their dad does try to stop Dr. Paradigm in the beginning, and then he gets turned into a monster that we don't see, and he is able to escape, and then that's like the last we see of him for now.
Yeah, because he is later on in the seasons.
Okay.
Because one of the sharks I liked was the Rockstar shark. I forget his name. I still own that episode on VHS. Man, I wish I could remember his name. But yeah, he gets, I don't know if it's a pill or something, and he drinks it in his hotel room. He sleeps at night, wakes up as a shark that can rock out. But apparently the boy's dad was in the same hotel at the same point. I think in the exact same room, and he left the pill there.
Oh.
And the guy takes it thinking it's like a Tylenol or something because he's got a headache, and goes to sleep after taking it, and then wakes up as a shark with not a mullet, but kind of like raggedy hair.
Okay, like some like 80s hairband kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
He's wearing I can even remember it because I thought it was funny. He's wearing work boots that aren't tied up all the way with the shoelaces just hanging out.
Of course, because I mean, tying your shoes is lame.
Yeah. He's gonna just trip and fall, and then it's gonna be the end of him probably. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the boy's dad is also a shark of some breed.
Yeah.
Or it might be like multiple sharks put into one.
He's a super shark. He's a megalodon.
And he's a Franken shark.
That'd be cool. You just see him all stitched up and everything.
Yeah, do you have any other points for episode 2?
I was a little bit disappointed in Dr. Paradigm. He gets hit with the injection of the piranha DNA, and it isn't that significant of a change for him. It's just he loses his nose and he gets like a piranha mouth.
Yeah, and his eye changes. I think it goes white and gets a little bigger.
Yeah, you could have at least like changed the color of his skin or make it scaly looking kind of.
Or make some of the suit fall off and have it be fish scales underneath or something.
Yeah, or give him like one of his arms breaks through the suit because it's like totally mutated or something.
Yeah.
But that's my only complaint. I pretty much summarized my notes. I know at one point when Benz is captured, the sharks agree to get captured on purpose.
Yeah.
In order to get into the base and whatnot, and then obviously things don't end too well for them.
Yeah.
But I think that's episode 2.
Yes. I think I'm gonna have you do the plot for 3 because for me the plot breakdown is just them breaking out of the tank and then them fighting Dr. Paranoid and his henchmen, because that's, to me, that's really all this episode is. It's just a battle.
See, when I look at, well,
And
I'm looking at my,
we get more detail of the guy in the sky because he's in this episode a lot more than the other 2 episodes.
yes. So this episode's kind of like, so last episode of the season, um, big kind of high stakes going on. So they're in the, when we last left off in episode 2, they're in the chamber. He's about to splice them up. Um, you know what? I have it noted on here. Apparently, Dr. Paranoid's ultimate plan is to create the perfect being, but using animal DNA, apparently. Don't remember how the sharks escape. I think it might have been something to do with Ben's helping them, and then they were able to bite their way out of the chamber.
Yeah, it's a combination of both those because they're
Okay.
eating away the inside wall.
Yeah.
And at one point, you just see a couple, like 4 bars stopping them, and it's like, well, they ate a roller coaster, so they're definitely gonna get out of that.
The news is apparently spreading lies about the street sharks. Somehow Dr. Paradigm is cured, not really cured himself. He's become, you'll see, a sort of Hulk type character.
Yeah, he can control his mutation somehow. They don't show you how, I don't believe. It's
Yeah,
just,
but they state like when he gets angry, he turns
yeah,
into his piranha form.
yeah. So I don't know if it's something with the suit helping him contain it or not.
Yeah. Okay, so the big thing is a lot of this episode deals with the eye in the sky guy. He's regularly communicated with because he's the one on the news talking about the street sharks, talking bad stuff. And so the female scientist is like kind of like contacting him to, tell him what's what, telling him that it's actually Dr. Paradigm who's like mutated them. But then, so Dr. Paradigm's like, I'm going to hold a press conference. He pulls a politician move, and he tells them, like, oh, no, it's the sharks were these guys, and their dad, this famous scientist, mutated them. I didn't really summarize this episode because you're right. This episode is just a big showdown, and the main thing is, like, so I even have it written down here. Showdown at the nuclear plant, and I know the big thing is, like, with the smart bomb, he kind of plans on like his big plot at the end or plan is using a smart bomb with the genetic whatever he made to transform everyone in the city.
Yeah, it's like radiation poison.
Yeah, essentially. And then they managed to stop him. But that's just me summarizing. Obviously, we're going to go deeper in this with notes.
Yeah.
Did you want to start?
Sure. So yeah, at the beginning it is them trying to eat their way out of the tank, but Benz does save them as well, because the machine is starting to run, and then he uses a cable to fling himself over to the control panel, and then he turns off the control panel for it. Something that I find that was a running gag. 2 things actually that's a running gag. One, the street sharks are always destroying TVs. They get angry and just destroy a TV for no reason. Benz even makes the jokes of, "This is getting expensive. You're destroying all my TVs."
Yeah.
And they're not little flat screens. They're big ass tube TVs that are attached to the wall. Also, another thing is, guy in the sky. He's always trying to get an interview of the sharks.
Yeah.
At every single point. I also wrote down Dr. Paranoid, something that helps him. I think he mentions his suit is a respirator suit.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if that helps control his anger, keeps him, more human when need be. I'm not really too sure. Helps him, stay alive, of course. But
so is that to say like he can't breathe without that suit? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
Okay.
But does he have a tank over his head, or glass?
No.
I can't remember.
Well,
I can't remember.
I'm not sure either. Maybe.
A other thing that Guy in the Sky is talking about is the henchmen. They dress up as fake sharks to do a fake shark attack to make the real sharks look like the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's a big plot part in this episode. They just have like a fake shark cloth that they put over their head. One funny line that I wrote down from Shamu. I'm not sure what he was destroying at the point in time. It was probably something in the factory. His line is, "Got my iron for the day."
I don't remember what he was destroying either.
Yeah, it must have been something inside the nuclear factory because that's pretty much where they spend the majority of this whole season. Did you notice that the swordfish and the lobster are scared of radiation?
Yeah, I think they wanted to bail, and like they were like not wanting to fight anymore once they saw that the there was literally about like a nuclear disaster about to happen. Or
Yeah, they get scared and they run the opposite direction.
I have in my notes Chernobyl disaster.
Yeah, I also wrote down that Dr. Pranoid plans to DNA nuke the city.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up, man. He said he would have a whole city of test subjects.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So he pretty much just wants to bomb the whole place and, you know, play around with his little test subjects. Other than that, they changed the missile to hit back at the nuclear plant, which, sure, it blows up in the nuclear plant, but if it blows up in the city, it's still going to be the same combination because it's blowing up either way. It's
Right.
still it's still in the general vicinity of the city.
I thought that was funny because it's like, yeah, he sends a bomb and they manage to use the computer to turn it around back at them, and it hits. So the smart bomb hitting a nuclear facility, and then they're kind of celebrating, even though there's this like nuclear mushroom cloud going on like right behind them, and it's like this huge thing behind them, and they're acting like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's just a typical Monday.
They're like, "We did it! I mean, we're getting doused in tons of radiation, and it's probably gonna go to the city, and but
But
whatever."
at the same point, they probably don't care. They're already sharks, so what's the worst that could happen?
I know, right? They're like, "Well, if we're dead, we won't be mutated anymore."
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got written for this episode.
So yeah, it's kind of after the explosions, like it seems that Dr. Paranoid is dead, but then you see his arm in the wreckage, and then actually like stands up, like, oh, he's alive, and then to be continued.
But
Mm,
all in all, I watched it all in one sitting, and I thought it was very entertaining. Probably the best thing we watched so far.
yeah, same with you, with me. I watched it all in one sitting, and I think it's really good to watch it all in one sitting because since the whole season flows together, and it's such a short season that
Yeah,
you're literally just watching like a short movie.
and I
Um,
find for its time, it has good animation to it. Like it's a little choppy in certain spots, but it's also got good movement, and you don't just jump from scene to scene, just like the mutation scenes. You actually see it happening. So hopefully, with all the other seasons, they didn't do any cutbacks with that. So
Yeah, no ugliness of like, because especially I'm sure with you, especially you when you watch stuff, you as an artist, you notice a lot of things. Um,
yeah,
but I didn't really, nothing really jumped out at me as being like, oh, that was ugly animation. It
yeah,
just, to me, it just looked like a show from that time, and it wasn't bad. I really liked the show.
yeah. It's not. I wouldn't say it's as good as, let's say, Ninja Turtles or Gargoyles or something like that, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah. In the entertainment factor is just really high, and it's just you can tell when they made this, they're just making a show to entertain and have a good time.
Yeah, it's something that they had a lot of fun with. There's a ton of puns and one-liners, so definitely well worth a watch.
My only sadness is I don't think they made a game off of this, and I think that would have been an awesome '90s retro game.
Yeah, I don't recall any game ever.
I think you imagine on like Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo, and it's a it would be like a beat 'em up, but then you could also like go underground and stuff.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to take like, I don't know, Ninja Turtles and mod that, you can definitely do that
Ooh,
because
yeah.
that'd be the perfect setting. Change the henchmen. The only thing that you'd have to do differently is the foot soldiers because there's
Oh,
no actual army. There's only the henchmen, and then later on there's a bloodsucker or something or a squid. Because on YouTube I was watching, it went into season 2 and they introduced the third henchman.
okay. I think I would just replace the Foot Clan with just army of miscellaneous mutants.
Or it could be the SWAT too, because the police are always after them.
Yeah, police, military.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to do that, you're welcome for the
Yep.
idea.
Oh, one last thing. Um, the Shark Brothers, they're legitimately good guys, and there were like multiple moments when like the military or the police are after them, but they don't know any better. They're just like, oh, mutant sharks. But then the sharks are like, come on, guys, our fight isn't with them.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
always they're always the bigger people and back off unless it's someone that really pisses them off.
yeah. Then they're gonna eat their TV.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh, yeah, I didn't really have any other announcements. This is a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, I think we covered everything.
We did it. Episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3 in the books.
I don't know. As usual. I don't know what we're doing next, but we decide pretty quick with what
Yeah,
we're doing.
and it's been weekly, so that's good, and hopefully we'll keep that up.
Yeah, we got our process down, and we get these up pretty quick for you guys, and hopefully, you stick with us.
We appreciate it.
For sure. All right. Well, anything you want to plug?
Other than just check out my Facebook page, the Illustrated Mind of Brian Tyfair. Just search Typhonstein, it'll come up. Links will be down below and whatnot. Take a look at all my artwork and take a look at our gaming videos. That's about it.
Yeah. So I got 2 videos for our Nostalgic Dad network that were in the works, and just got some heavy editing I need to do. But we have a Twitter and our Instagram, and you could find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Virtual Rob, and same with my Twitter as well, Virtual Rob.
Yeah, I think that's it for us.
All right, guys, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Peace.